Hey guys, what's up? Welcome back to my channel. If you are new, welcome, and my name is Victoria, and you have joined the Pembroke Beauty family. Here we are. It's quite a small family, but hey, we're family. So if you haven't already, you should subscribe and give this video a thumbs up. If you haven't watched my last video, I will put it right up here. Maybe it's on that side. I'm not quite sure. But regardless, I did a video last time, and it has been a while. And it was like a life update situation, and I talked about zodiac signs a lot in that video, and I did a poll and asked you guys on my Instagram if you would want to see a zodiac sign video by myself, and a lot of you guys said yeah. So I was like, well, I guess we're doing it because I love this topic. I think it's very, very fun, very cool, very entertaining, and like I said in that video, it's pretty cool to be able to be like, yeah, that makes sense. Again, if you guys don't believe in zodiac signs, bear with me. Don't leave yet, okay? You might watch this video and change your mind. You might. It could happen. I also want to give you guys a disclaimer. So I'm sure that a lot of you know, but some of you probably don't know, that there is more than just your sun sign. So when somebody was to walk up to you and be like, hey girl, what's your sign? And you'd be like, oh, hey, I was born May 9th, so my sign is a Taurus. That's just your sun sign. You also have a moon sign, a rising sign, a Venus sign, like every planet has a sign, okay? So if you want to figure that out, you would go on to Cafe Astrology, and you would look up like your natal chart, which I will put a link to that in the bottom box, and you can just check it out. It's free. It's not like weird or anything, whatever. But so yeah, so you would put in your birthday, like your birth time. So look on your birth certificate, call your mom, call your dad. Your mom will probably know, your dad probably won't, but maybe they know. And go ahead and type that in, and you can find out your whole natal chart. And I swear to you, it's gonna make sense. It will make sense. You'll look at it and you'll be like, my whole world is now explained, and I know who I am. I promise. So what I'm saying is that when I go through these, and say you're a Sagittarius, and you're like, okay, well, my sun sign's a Sagittarius, and I don't act like that at all. Well, look up your natal chart, okay? Chill out and look up your natal chart, and it's gonna make sense, I promise. So I'm going to stop rambling, but I do think that that's a really important thing. So if you wanted me to do like if you like this video, give it a thumbs up, first of all. And if you do like it, then write down below if you'd want like a more in-depth explanation of like sun, moon, and rising signs. And I could do a video on that too, if you want to see it. Just let me know. So I'm going to go through a bunch of sun signs, all of the signs, all of the astrological signs, and explain them and go into like overview of each sign, because it's 12 signs. That's a lot of signs, and it's going to take me a long time to go through all of that in like full depth. So another disclaimer, if you would like me to do if you like it, you like how this whole shindig goes, and you're like, oh, I could listen to more of that, then definitely let me know, and I could do one video for each sign. So that's like a whole 12 videos. That's a pretty long time. So if you want me to do that, I would totally do it. I just don't know if you want to see it. So what's the point of me doing it if you don't want to see it? You know what I mean? Jelly bean? So with that being said, I'm going to stop, collaborate, and listen, and go on to the signs. So here we go. We'll start with number 1. I have some notes here going through all of the information just so that I don't lose track. So if you see me looking down, that would be why, because I'm reading just to make sure that I'm not lying to you. So Aries, they are depicted by the ram. They are a fire sign, and they are the first zodiac sign of the calendar. So you would think that would be January. 'Tis not. It is actually March 20th to April 20th. So if your birthday falls within that range, you're probably an Aries. So what does that mean? So there's positives and negatives to every sign, and Aries are fire signs. They are aggressive. They tend to be intense. They are the first sign, which therefore kind of would make you think like maybe they're kind of like babies, and in a way it kind of is true. I don't know if you guys know any Aries in your life. I know a couple, and it's pretty true. I feel like most Aries that I've met have kind of this like baby syndrome where they're kind of like, I don't really want to grow up, and kind of like Peter Pan syndrome. Yeah, kind of that situation in the nicest way possible, so don't be mad at me. But yeah, so they tend to be kind of babies, and because they are the first zodiac sign, that's kind of their opinion of themselves, like, I am number one, I am going to be first, I'm going to lead the pack, and they really like to start projects and not necessarily finish them. The good side, they are very enthusiastic, very energetic. Like I said, they're fire signs, so they have a lot of dynamic features. However, they can tend to be a little arrogant. Again, like I said, they tend to see themselves as first, so they expect them to be number one. That's an Aries. Like I said, they're a ram, so they are ready to ram you down with their thoughts, opinions, and their determination, and they want to go ahead and do stuff. That's an Aries. Sign number 2 in the calendar. It is a Taurus, which is myself. The month range is April 21st to May 20th. We are earth signs, and we are depicted by the bull. So, Tauruses are known as like the sensual sign, like very into texture, into high class items. Like typically if somebody's gonna have a spending problem on designer stuff, they'll probably be a Taurus. Because I feel like there's two types of Tauruses. So there's, well, Tauri, not sure. Is it octopi or octopuses? Obviously it's octopi, but I don't know if it applies the same for Taurus. But for Taurus, I feel like there's two kinds of Taurus. So there's like the one half that's like, I have money that I need to spend on everything and I have an issue. And then there's other Tauruses that are like, oh my God, I love money and I want to hoard it and I never want to spend it because I just never want it to leave. So the other thing about Tauruses is that they are very stubborn. 'Tis true. The other thing about Tauruses is that they're very stubborn. They can be very blunt. Like, if I don't agree with you, and I'm not saying like me personally, but sometimes I have issues with this. But a lot of times people will be like, oh, well, what do you think about this? And I could be like, I don't like that shirt. And maybe there was a nicer way to say it, but a lot of Tauruses don't really have that great of a filter. They kind of just come right out, and they're very practical and very reliable, but that kind of helps with the whole bluntness situation. The other thing about Tauri, is that they are very focused on comfort and therefore tend to be lazy. And we also really like to eat. So if you ever want to know a good restaurant to go to, hit me up. I probably know a good one. Or another Taurus in your life probably does too. We are very hardworking, and actually in like relationships and stuff, very, very sentimental, and we tend to be possessive additionally. And it doesn't have to be about just things. We tend to be collectors, collect items, collect candles, collect people. So that's kind of other traits about Tauruses. But all in all, hardworking, stubborn, but really, really, really reliable. If you need something done, you need a friend to count on, find a Taurus friend. We'll be there for you all day long. Zodiac sign number 3, Gemini. So, Gemini is depicted by the twins, and their range is May 21st to June 20th, and they are an air sign. So when you think about twins, you kind of think about like two people in one body, and a lot of times Gemini get the rap of being like two people in one person, therefore kind of two-faced. And in a sense, it's a little true, at least for a lot of Geminis that I know. Not necessarily two-faced, but just very ready to play devil's advocate and can be kind of wishy-washy when they're making plans, and they tend to get kind of bored quickly. Additionally, they love to talk. These people will talk forever. If you know a Gemini, they probably don't stop talking very often. And additionally, on a good side, they're very quick-witted. They really do like witty humor, very fast, like good little throw you a little joke here and there. They're good with that kind of stuff. Because of them kind of being two people in one body, they can be kind of hard to get to know because they can change their feelings so quickly. In most cases, they can change their feelings so quickly that it can kind of be like, I don't really know this person that well. I thought I knew them, and then I just hung out with them again, and they're a totally different person. And it's really hard to kind of get a grip on. It tends to make them look like fake. You know what I mean? Like a fake person. And that might not necessarily be the case, but a lot of people get that vibe from them. But they are, like I said, very smart, and they like to get things done. So, Gemini, there you go. Cancer, number 4. So my mom is a Cancer. Hi, Mom, if you're watching. They have the range between June 21st and July 22nd. They are represented as the crab, and they are a water sign. So as far as Cancers go, holy moly, you're emotional. And everybody knows it, and I love you. Don't be mad at me. I'm sure every Cancer who's watching this is like, I'm not emotional. That's not necessarily like you cry all the time. That just means that like you're like really happy, really sad, really mad. Like there's not really a like turn down the volume. It's always at a 10, no matter what emotion you're at. However, Cancers are very nurturing. Like mom, great mom. Great moms as Cancers, because very nurturing. They have the ability to be very like, their goals are very domestic. They really like to like have their family, have their friends, like really nurture those people around them. It doesn't have to be a big group, but they really do like to care for others. They are very romantic. They are very devoted. They can be very sympathetic because they do understand how emotions work. They totally get that. However, you cross a Cancer and that's it, we're done. They can be very vindictive, very aggressive. They don't play around. It's like the little claws coming at you. They don't mess around, okay? So that's pretty much that for Cancers. So very loving, nurturing, emotional. You probably know a Cancer and you're like, oh my gosh, you have such a big heart, but don't mess with them. Sign 5 is a Leo, and Catelyn, if you're watching, hello. You are my best Leo friend. Leos are represented as the lion. They are a fire sign, and their range is July 23rd to August 22nd. So the thing about Leos is that they are the center of attention, and they want to be the center of attention. If you don't give a Leo attention, they are like, what the heck? It's about me. And that doesn't mean that they will like push anybody out of the limelight, but it's very much like, please pay attention to me. Please. And as somebody who lived with a Leo, who I looked up your birth chart, Catelyn, you're like a triple Leo. So I love you. But so they tend to be like performers and artists, and they're very creative, but at the same time they're very strong, very ambitious, very opinionated. They're very warm and energetic. They really draw people in. It's not like the obnoxious like, pay attention to me. It's like, wow, I can't not pay attention to you because your personality is just so strong and so warm and inviting that you just are the center of attention. So it's a good thing. But maybe if like it's somebody else's day, maybe you gotta tone it down a little bit. Just a little bit. Leos tend to be very loyal and very outgoing. And like I said, they are number 1. So if you asked a Leo what the best sign would be, they would almost 100% say Leo. Absolutely. No doubt. Think to yourself, if you're a Leo and somebody were to ask you what the best zodiac sign would be, what would your answer be? That's what I thought. But yeah, so I love Leos. They have a tendency also, because they are fire signs, that if you cross them, it's not pretty. However, they are very sensitive. Whether or not they show it is a totally different thing. But they are very, very loving, very giving, and very, like I said, very warm. So if you are in need, if you're upset, if you need somebody to talk to, they will be there 100% listening. Every Leo I've ever met is so sweet. So that's a Leo. Energetic, attention-seeking, but sweet-hearted and very kind. The sixth sign in the zodiac is Virgo. And so this is depicted by like the Virgin or the Maiden. Same idea. They are an earth sign as well. And the range is between August 23rd and September 22nd. So my rising and my moon sign are both Virgo. So I have a Taurus sun and a Virgo moon and rising. So essentially I am all earth. Taurus and Virgo earth. So super strong, very earthy. And as far as Virgos go, we tend to be very perfectionist. Everything has to be the best. We really like to be critical and look at details, and almost to a detriment, Virgos will be detail oriented. Like, for example, you could have a house full of stuff and you're like, I have to clean, I have to do this, I have to do that, but I have to go through every single item in this room because I have to go through it. Even if you know you're not going to keep any of it, you don't want anything in the room, you still have to go through everything. And so it can be really, really exhausting to be a Virgo. Additionally, they tend to be constantly thinking, and a lot of times this leads them to be worrywarts and have anxiety. So a lot of people with anxiety tend to be Virgos, and it's a real thing. Stop stressing out about stuff. It will be okay. It does not have to be perfect. It will be fine. A lot of people kind of don't like Virgos for that reason. They feel like they're kind of picky, and they can be straightforward and say, I don't like that, you're doing it wrong. And a lot of people don't like that. But just remember that Virgo also does that to themselves as well. So it's not just you that they're judging themselves too. The good things about Virgo is that they tend to be very reliable. And even though they do have this kind of like judgy thing, they are very easygoing. They're easy to talk to. They're very good communicators. They're very grounded, very logical and practical. And they tend to be scientific, so they tend to be in science fields, like I said, very detail oriented. So looking at little tiny small changes is stuff that they really like. Very organized. Very, very organized. So there's like, again, kind of two types of Virgos. There's the, I'm so clean, I know where everything is, almost a little OCD about it. And then there's the, oh my God, this is a mess, but I know where everything in it is. It might be a mess to you, but I know this is exactly where it will be, and it will be there for the next 3 weeks. So that's pretty much Virgo. Very critical, very picky, but very good communicator, very scientific and reliable. So number 7 is Libra. So the sign time is September 23rd to October 22nd. This is represented by scales, so like a balance. And it is also an air sign. So Libras really like to have a partner, hence wanting to keep balance, the scales. They really like that. They like to keep things fair. They are sociable and very easygoing. Like, they tend to be very, very easy people to talk to. They're very good at communicating. However, they tend not to like confrontation, and therefore this leads them to bottling up their emotions and sometimes then exploding on people because they've held it in for so long that they just can't do it anymore. So additionally, they, because of that, can be kind of manipulative, and this can cause them to take it out on other people as guilt or as just they will have an issue, but they don't want to tell you that they had an issue. So they will keep it in for so long that eventually they're just like, oh my God, I have to explode. And they'll either blow up on you or they will make you feel so bad that you know something's wrong, but they won't tell you what it is. So that's the thing about Libra. The other good things about Libra, or just kind of facts about Libra, is that they are very, very into status. They very much like to be like thought of as the highest class. They very much like beauty. They like the outdoors. And again, they are good communicators. They really like having companions and having friends and being around people that they love. So those are all really good things about Libra. Just if you're a Libra, kind of express your emotions a little bit more. Maybe it's a little too closed up in there. That's my suggestion. Sign number 8 is Scorpio. So I feel like everybody thinks about Scorpio and is like, look out, man, that's Scorpio. Let me tell you about their ranges first. So their birthday ranges are October 23rd to November 22nd. They're represented by the Scorpion, hence Scorpio, Scorpion, and they are a water sign. So the thing about Scorpios is that they are water signs, and all water signs are emotional. That just is what it is. Their emotions flow, but Scorpios tend to be very internal with their emotions. Not all the time, but they tend to kind of keep them in and then kind of dump them out. It's kind of like the Libra situation where you don't really express it and then all of a sudden it's like, I feel all of this all the time. Okay? It's like that. They don't see the world as having gray very much. They are very black and white. It's a yes or no question. There's no maybe. It's just very like, are you with me or are you against me? There's no like, oh, you like me. It's like, you love me or you hate me. That's it. And if you don't like me, well then watch out because I'm going to come and like kill you in your sleep. That's kind of like why people get freaked out about Scorpios. But truly, I know a decent amount of Scorpios that they're fine. But if you do look at like the list of serial killers, a lot of them are Scorpios, just on a side note. The other things about Scorpios is that they are very determined. If they have a goal, they will do it, and they will do it big. They are very stubborn, they are very loyal, they are very intuitive, and very passionate about everything, about people, about their love life, about their goals, about their dreams. Very, very passionate people. And that's not something that's not a bad trait. That is a good trait. So, you know, there's a lot that you can look at with Scorpios that is bad, but you can do that with every other sign as well. One thing that I read that I found to be kind of an interesting way to put it is Scorpions would rather kill themselves than be killed by an enemy. And that's kind of true, I feel, for Scorpios as well. Like, they would rather take themselves down before they're going to let you take them down because they don't want to admit defeat by another. So really the big traits from Scorpio to take away is emotional, fearless, strong, loyal, determined, passionate. Sagittarius. So Sagittarius is represented by the Archer. It is a fire sign and the ranges is between November 23rd and December 21st. Sagittarius are considered the wanderers. They are truth seekers and therefore tend to be fairly religious or like philosophical. They tend to believe in a higher power. And it's kind of funny because like if you were to have a group of people and all of them were to be a different sign and you were to go around the room and you were to be like, do you believe in zodiac signs or not? 10 out of 10 Sagittarius would be like, no. But that fits their thing. I mean, if you think about it. So Sagittarius tend to be argumentative. They are very outgoing and they tend to be enthusiastic and outspoken and tend to be leaders and kind of trendsetters. But at the same time, they can take things too far and not really realize that maybe they took it too far. They can kind of be unconcerned with others without really trying to be that way. They're very focused on what they want. Even if they're not trying to hurt another person, they can tend to kind of maybe inadvertently do that. Again, this is just a general thing. So if you are a Sagittarius and you're like, that's not me, check out your natal chart. Other facts about Sagittarius are that they can be procrastinators and they can be kind of moody. Additionally, like if you don't get your way or you don't want to do what you want to do and you can't do it, then maybe you'll pitch a fit about it. But like I said, they tend to be very, very good trendsetters, very truth-seeking. They want to find the truth. They want to express the truth. That's really their big thing, is just looking out and understanding life and trying to get a better grip on what's going on. So, Sagittarius. The 10th sign is Capricorn. These are earth signs as well. They're represented by the goat. And the birthday range is December 22nd to January 19th. It's very funny to me because one of the first traits about a Capricorn is ambitious, hardworking, determined, stubborn, and they tend to be bosses. So I don't know if you guys like pay attention to what like birth date your bosses have, and I'm not saying that it's true for everybody, but I know my 2 bosses at work are both Capricorns, and I do find that to be kind of entertaining. So yeah, so Capricorns tend, like I said, to be ambitious. They're very hardworking, almost maybe too hardworking. I think maybe you're doing a little much. Take a break every once in a while. It might be a little beneficial for you to not work so much. They really like to have the prestige and the recognition that comes with achieving things. And that's not a bad thing, but that is definitely like kind of what drives them to be what they want to be. They want that prestige that goes along with it. Additionally, they are very sensible. They have a lot of common sense. Again, earth signs tend to be the more grounded type people. So I mean, it makes sense. Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn, all very grounded people, down to earth, easy to talk to. That is true for Capricorn as well. They also are one of the more non-emotive signs. They tend to really keep their emotions in and really close to their sleeve. They don't really like to show how they feel to people. And I think maybe that's another thing that you guys could work on, is like expressing yourself a little bit more. Be a little creative. You don't have to like spill your guts, but you know, maybe a little bit here and there would probably be useful for you. They have the tendency to be a little egotistical. They can be a little unforgiving about people, and because they are so motivated and so driven to achieve all that they can achieve, sometimes they will hurt others in the process without even really realizing it. So again, it's not necessarily an intentional thought. They are very friendly and polite people, but it does end up happening that way whether or not they want to. It's just wrong place, wrong time, I guess. So yeah, so Capricorn, ambitious, hardworking, stubborn, leaders, not emotional. Aquarius. So Aquarius is represented by the water bearer. It is a air sign, which I feel like throws everybody off and threw me off for a really long time, because you would think a water bearer would be a water sign, but it's not. It's an air sign, which is weird. So yeah, so Aquarius, you would think it would be water, but no, it's air. Anyway, so Aquarius, you have the birthday range January 20th to February 18th. So Aquarius are kind of weird. You guys know it too. You guys know you're a little off, but in a good way. You guys are humanitarians. You tend to be very visionary, very creative, very productive with your creativity. You want to make the world a better place, but sometimes you can be so up in the air that you're a little hard to reach. Like, it's a little hard for you to make friends and have connections with people because of how like spacey you are. Despite the fact that you're very compassionate and very loving and really want the best for people, you are eccentric and can kind of throw people off, and it is hard to get to know Aquarius a lot of the times. Aquarii? Yeah, probably that's actually true for that one. A lot of Aquarii can come off a little cold. And it's not because they don't want friendship, it's just because they're so everywhere else that they don't even realize that they're doing it. Aquarius, in total, humanitarian, visionary, artistic, a little spacey, a little out there, but they want the best for the world. And to our last sign in the zodiac, the oldest sign is Pisces. So Pisces is a water sign, and it is represented by the fish. and the birthday range is February 19th to March 20th. So I have a friend who's a Pisces. I actually know a decent amount of Pisces, and I actually really love Pisces. I find them to be very funny. What they're really known for is being a little psychic, a little intuitive. They can read people like no other. If you want to know about somebody and you're like, well, you know, I'm not really sure how to feel about it, go ahead and ask your Pisces friend to give you an analysis, and they will tell you exactly what you need to know. Pisces tend to be very spiritual, very emotional. They are a water sign, so they do have emotions, and they can be up and down, hot and cold, all over the place very quickly. You can say something one day and the next day say the same thing, and maybe they'll take it wrong that day as opposed to the other. But they are very sensitive, they're very compassionate, they really they love to love. But sometimes they are a little too idealistic. Like I said, they're very intuitive. So they think a lot and they have very idealistic thoughts. And sometimes that sets the bar a little too high for what is actually achievable. Like from others, from situations. Maybe you guys go in with a little bit too high of expectations and end up disappointed. They're very easy to relate to. Like I said, Pisces are really good friends. They will be with you through the end of time. However, if you cross the Pisces, they are done with you. It is not like oh, well, you know, give her some time, she'll come around. No, we're done. You messed up. You screwed up the situation. We're done. If you needed something in an emergency and you were close, I guarantee you they would help you, but that does not mean that you're friends again. So as far as Pisces go, psychic, intuitive, easy to get to know, will cut you off in an instant, emotional, but kind, romantic, loving. So yeah, guys, that concludes this video. If you did agree with what I said about your sign, definitely give this video a thumbs up. If you haven't, you should write down below what sign you are, and I'm very curious to see like how many of each sign watch this video, so definitely comment it down below. I'm curious. And if you are interested in any other zodiac sign video from me, definitely put it in the comment section down below. It is not hard for you guys to do. Just type it in there, say I want another one or something like that. Just let me know that you guys really liked this video, and additionally, if you thumbs it up, it really gives me an indication that I should do another one. So yeah, if you haven't already, you should subscribe. Hit the bell if you haven't, so that you get notifications every single time that I upload. And if you don't, you should follow me on Instagram, because why freaking not, you know? Why not? But yeah, I think this really concludes the video. So thank you guys again so much for freaking watching. I really appreciate it, and I will see you in my next one. Bye! Why not take a crazy chance? Why not do a crazy dance?